Welcome back to Pointless Bickering, the game, and we're still climbing this tower thing.
Well, so far the game's actually been more like an actual game for once.
We're just doing the exact same shit we've been doing before, killing monsters. I mean, by this point, this is
one of the most effective games I've ever seen.
True. You know, honestly, the thing that really sinks this game for me is the battle mode, is the battle gameplay.
The battle system. Well, in that case, I think you'll find some semblance of fun in our commentating of Lightning Returns, because that game actually has a pretty cool battle system.
I mean, hey, at least the story's gotten somewhat better with the character interactions.
No, Joe, you don't get it. That was just that one scene. We're done with the good parts.
Really?
Pretty much.
Yeah, we're done. When it comes to this trilogy, actually, no. I do like the particular interaction between Snow and Lightning at Lightning Returns. But aside from that, yeah, we're pretty much done with the good parts when it comes to this trilogy.
Yeah, if there was one good thing that Lightning Returns managed to have.
It managed to make Snow.
Snow actually is a competent character in that game, and that's saying a lot.
And this is coming from Teo, guys. Just to give you an idea, this is coming from Teo. Teo is admitting.
Of course, they had to balance that by not making me use the weapon that is featuring all his artworks, but who cares?
Anyway,
I mean, you know what's the irony, Pedro? There was an event in Final Fantasy XIV that was based on Lightning.
Yeah, I know, Lightning.
And one of the rewards was the ice axe of Snow. I mean, someone else in another game can use that weapon, but not Snow in his own game. Like, that's... Oh boy!
It's a shame because I actually thought that looked kind of. It's a shame too because that weapon I actually thought looked kind of cool and it was a good use of his Ice Shiva powers. But okay.
Ice Shiva powers? Wait, but I thought his power was his trench coat.
No, Jova. He has a superpower trench coat, but when it comes to his magic element, it's ice. You know, because the Shiva.
Yeah, I get that. Hence the name Snow.
If you see that each character has an element going on around them. Lightning is of course thunder. Snow is ice. Sad is fire. Fang is wind. Vanilla is death, I guess, and Hope is holy.
No. Teo, like Jova said, Vanille is the power of expendables, shooting things up, blowing shit.
So, question: we gonna get any story elements, or is this gonna be like the last part, where pretty much, you know, it was all completing a tier?
We're gonna have like one or two. Again, this dungeon
this tower is very basic. Basically, until you get to the top of the tower, you basically go each floor, solving the side quest, and we get a cutscene where the Dahaka shows up and goes blah.
Okay.
Yeah. I know about that. I was just wondering if we were gonna get anything other than that in this part.
We're gonna get we're gonna get one cutscene later on, but yeah, this is pretty much a gameplay part. Yeah.
You know, as baffling as the story has been, the only really thing worth commentating on at this rate is the cutscenes, because the gameplay is just so boring.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Let's play devil's advocate for a bit. Okay, let's say that you are stuck with this gameplay. But, you know, some companies actually think of a smart idea when they have restricting gameplay like this. How about, I don't know, adding in new gameplay elements? You're like, well, if you can't affect the gameplay, affect the field or something. You're like, well, add in a gimmick for each area or level or whatnot. You're like, well, like, make it like, in the volcano area.
That would require effort, Jova.
I was the boss.
Yeah.
That would work. Anyway. Yeah, pretty much, Jova. It's not like for example, let's take for again, since we're commenting on that game at the same time as this one. Let's take for example Ni no Kuni, where in that game each dungeon, or even the towns have their own unique thing that separates them from the rest of the game. Like for example, when you're infiltrating into Marcus's palace while he's still brokenhearted, there's a stealth section in it. And there's no other stealth section in the game. When you're for example in the frog dungeon, like you have to deal with the frog status thing. When you have, but every dungeon has an identity, you know, something that makes it distinguishable and memorable in regarding to the rest of the game. Whereas in here, you might as well replace this tower with anything else in the game. Like,
you know, for the record, one of Square's older games, Brave Adventure Musashi, had a dungeon akin to this, but it actually managed to mix things up by having each dungeon have a different element working against you. Why can't this game at least have something like that?
Kind of like Zelda, you
say. Jova, haven't you heard? JRPGs are a form of creating interactive movies.
Not just that, but technically speaking, JRPG, as we know them, have died since the PS2 era. Now we need to become westernized.
But westerns the old ways.
You know what's interesting? You know what's interesting, Jova?
Yeah.
It's two things. Back when this game first came out and everybody was complaining, where's the world map? Everybody, Kitase said that infamous quote that fans love to bash him for now. To create a world map like the old games in HD, it's just not possible. And then Kuni came out. And like much like Game Trailer said when they gave.
It's even more ironic because it's still after Kuni, but Square itself created a game and even 2 games when the world map was possible: Decision Duodecim and Final Fantasy Type 0.
And 15 doesn't have the traditional world map, but it's still open world.
No, I know, but the 2 games I mentioned that have a very traditional world map. Type 0 is very straight in that regard.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, it's pretty much like. I love that quote that Game Trailer said about Kuni when they named it the best RPG of 2013, where they said it's the kind of game that Square themselves said that it could not be done in HD, and yet Level 5 schooled the RPG giant at their own game.
Hey, question: when exactly did they say that it couldn't be done with modern HD, and for what reason, though? I mean, did they give like a specific reason?
It was just pulling something out of his ass just to.
Oh, I get that.
Even he knows it's bullshit. They know it's bullshit. They're just, trying to cover their ass.
Oh, I get that, Pedro. I'm just wondering, what was like the specific reason they gave for it not being possible? I mean, the reason they gave, was it like not enough power or something?
Kitase said, like for example, people actually gave Final Fantasy VII as an example. Like he said that to create a remake, like that's one of the main reasons why people are asking, what about the Final Fantasy VII remake for the PS3? And people said, Kitase said, and I'm quoting here, to create a game with the size and scope of Final Fantasy VII with the modern graphics of Final Fantasy XIII, it would take the double of the development time of Final Fantasy XIII. This game took 5 years to make, so according to Kitase, to make a Final Fantasy VII with these graphics, it would take 10 years.
I think I can list at least 10 PS2 games that actually would lay rest to that.
Again, Jova, these graphics. Not to
I know. I mean, I'm saying
like I said before, the graphics engine, the Crystal Tools engine, was not designed for open world games. It was designed for linear games.
Okay. So we're talking engines now.
That's why the graphics of Latin returns.
And also, this goes to show that Square Enix cares more about graphics rather than actual gameplay.
Yeah.
That's kind of a problem with not just Square Enix, but a lot of...
Yeah, I know. Shiro, I know it's a common thing, but Square Enix takes the cake because they want to be as polished as fucking possible.
I see.
Not to mention the fact that apparently they built an engine based on graphics, not gameplay.
They put so much emphasis to say, the Mother Solid Tail, that if you zoom on Lightning's navel, you can see air piercing on that. I'm not kidding, that's an actual quote. And
why would anyone care about that, though?
Yeah.
But you see, Theo, it is brilliant because the polygons will create.
When did you work for Square?
To create actual emotion, you need to create characters with a high count of polygons.
Actually, I do wonder: has anyone here played Life is Strange?
Life is Strange. What's that?
Because it's an episodic game a la Telltale, but from what I gather from people, it reminds a lot of a David Cage game. I say that because it's published by Square Enix, so there are also a lot of inside jokes from other Square Enix things.
I never played that, but I am kind of looking forward to that David Cage game that's not actually being made by David Cage. Joe, don't you remember that game that me and Tara showed you?
What was it called?
It's a horror game. That's literally a David Cage game without being an actual.
Until Dawn.
That, yeah.
It's Sony's take on basically cabin horror movies.
Yeah.
Not to mention all the similarities it has to Beyond Two Souls.
Yep. It's funny because I discovered that almost by accident. Because that game remains silent for a long time. It first one was done for PS3, I think in 2012. Then remained silent for a while, and then it was shifted to PS4 out of nowhere. I think it's because development restraints or something.
I'll give the game this. It was sort of cute when the elevator did that ding sound.
Yeah, the elevator in this tower has this thing that it uses a xylophone as a climbing tool.
Okay, guess what we're doing?
More hunting.
Another random monster. What's that you were saying, Joe, about the gameplay becoming better?
I don't know.
What I was saying, Pedro. What I was saying, Pedro, is like, well, the gameplay, like, well, at some point in this game, not this point in the game, but I think it was like near the point like where we were on the airship and when we were about to confront the Super Pope. It's like, well, I was saying at that point the gameplay had gotten, more tactful and, actually, more thought-provoking in some cases. Yeah, there was still the auto battle, but at least you still had to, well, I saw you switching up more with the jobs and whatnot, and actually using it more thoughtfully. It's like, well,
yeah, true, but that's mostly because of unbalanced difficulty than actual.
I know. What I'm saying is, like, well, at that point, the gameplay actually seemed to be getting better. And like, well, and like I said, if the gameplay had started like that after we, did the first few hours of the game, and then gradually got more difficult in some way or whatnot, it would actually feel like a challenge, a legit challenge.
Yeah, like Teo said 2 parts ago, the boss battle against Vanille's Dawn is a huge difficulty spike. Like it's not so much a gradual challenge that boils down to that. No, the game literally goes from being walking in the park to a death match unless you grind it like I did.
Actually, now that I think about it, here's an idea about how you could actually make gameplay more interesting.
And again, hold on, just one more thing before some of the purists might argue, well, in the first Final Fantasy game on the NES, you had stuff like that too. Well, but that's the thing. That game was made almost 30 years ago. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
Now that I think about it, I actually know an easy way you can make this gameplay more fun. Why not give enemies the ability to change their classes and whatnot? Like, make them shift, and like, we'll make it so that you also have to speedily shift as well. We'll make it sort of a bit of a speed race. Like, we'll see who can get to the best element better.
That will make things a bit overcomplicated. I mean, one thing is the weapon triangle in Fire Emblem. Another thing is having an hexagon of classes clashing against each other. I don't know.
Well, what I mean is, like, well, it wouldn't necessarily allow one to beat the other, but it would give one, like, say, a starting advantage, and, like, we'll say you're constantly changing class by class. I mean, yeah, it's probably not the best idea for gameplay, but at least give you, more sense of interaction.
Alright, Joe, but allow me to explain this particular enemy for a bit, because this enemy has a particularity. He has a barrier. Basically, you cannot. I mean, I'm technically damaging him, but as you can see, he's barely dropping his bar. Basically, the only way to drop his barrier is to stagger him.
So isn't that pretty much what we've been doing? Just staggering enemies?
True, but
that's the thing. Even if when stagger, you don't do a lot of damage to him. So it's even more tedious than before. And if you're lucky to find just one of them, there are instances where you find multiple at once.
Allow me to disagree. I'm being pretty fun with that, actually. So.
I know, just more tedious than. There you go. He retained the barrier.
I see.
Basically, Joe, but this guy is kind of, again, it goes back to the overpowered defense and overpowered HP. Not actually, the monsters aren't actually difficult. They just take a long time.
What I'm saying is, like, well, I'm not saying, like, well, to give it unfair difficulty, but if they had, like, slowly, gradually gotten up with, like, well, the more usage that you have to do out of changing the class systems, yeah, it may not have been the most ideal gameplay, but at least it would have been a gameplay that actually is, forcing you to learn and actually, use those gameplay additions as opposed to just selecting auto battle and making it boring. It's like this. I'll take a game I'll take a gameplay that does get complicated and does have a steep learning curve over a gameplay that's, you know, boring like this, because, like, well, you're kind of doing nothing but auto battle and shift. It's like, well, have they gradually, through one shape or another, made it so that, like, well, you have to use the switches or whatnot? You know, like, well, because, like, isn't that what the... In fact, isn't that this game's main gimmick, you know, being able to switch classes on the fly thanks to the magic of the,
Actually, Jova, that kind of started in 10.2, so...
Oh, I get that.
Even that isn't original.
Well, I get that, Pedro, but I mean, well, isn't that this game's main gimmick? And yet, when you think about it, it's not really that well used. I mean, like, well, if a game is going to sponsor a main gimmick, you should darn well use it. I mean, yes, there are complaints about Lost World, but at least that game still stands out because it actually uses its gimmick and actually feels like you have to use them. But here, you could pretty much play this on auto battle with, you know, nothing. It's like,
at least I won't disagree with you there, Joe. But Lost World is at the very least a game.
Yeah, yeah. I guess what I'm saying is, like, well, had they, like, you know, given a bit of, like, a rise in difficulty, starting with, like, the sort of difficulty that we had on the Super Pope ship, like, actually forcing you to switch jobs, and then, you know, maybe make a game based on using the switcher, like, you know, give you advantages, give you team attacks or whatnot, you know, based around that. You know, I guess what I'm saying is, like...
You can have advantage over, but Pedro didn't actually show that. You basically use soil, I guess they're called. Basically, they're power-ups. Either they make you invisible, so you start the attack as if you ambush the enemy by basically staggering them on the spot, or either you buff himself.
Yeah, I actually started using them in the final dungeon.
Oh, by the way, Pedro, I guess you haven't because it's a secondary thing, but have you included in this playthrough the Zenobia side quest?
No, I haven't included any sites.
I guess then you should do a bit of a recap when we'll get to Final Fantasy 13 too, then, because Joven sure will be a bit confused in that case.
Wait, hold on. Let me get this straight. There's a side quest that apparently affects the canon of another game in the series.
Sorta. There's a boss in 13.2, but it's related to a side quest in this game, and if you just see it in 13.2. You don't understand it. That's
kind of stupid gameplay development. I mean, like, if you're gonna put a side quest that affects, you know, the main thing about the story.
It's complicated, Joe. It's not what you think. You understand when we get to 13.2. I'll explain to you in case Pedro will not show anything.
No, I'm not showing it. You might as well explain. In fact, I might as well explain now because, well...
Sure, whatever. Okay, you know the...
Actually, wait till Xiii comes about so she can hear it too.
Okay.
So basically, going back to what I was saying, it's like, well, I get that, you know, like, well, this game technically has some of that stuff. I guess what I feel like, honestly, I feel like, well, what I'm saying is like, well, at the part where we started with the Super Pope, that is at the point where the game actually feels like it's granting you something of, you know, actually telling you to use the gimmick. I mean, yeah, that may have been just you doing it on a whim page, but what I'm saying is like, well, at that point, the game actually feels somewhat challenging, granted that was more so for a first level. I guess what I'm saying is like, well, I feel this game would have benefited a lot more better if they had more so centered the gameplay around, you know, well, actually working together as a team, you know, like, well, maybe give you combos or whatnot that you could actually use. Yeah, it probably may not have been as fun, but it would be more than, you know, just all of it.
Having combo attacks that where the characters combine their attacks and shit?
Yeah. Also special moves that have to do with, like, based on what class each one...
It's interesting you mentioned that, Joe, because the 2.0 patch for Episode Duskay that came out today actually added the ability to do that.
Yep.
Wow! How about that? Yeah.
Go figure.
Oh, now I think I know. Yeah. Also, an idea would be like to, you know, like, well, you know, like how in Azuma 11 gives all of the different characters, like, you know, different abilities based on whatever position they're in.
Yeah.
Why not do something like that here? Like, well, say Lightning's a Sentinel, give her a special move for that. Or say she's like her usual class, give her special moves.
They have, but we'll start gaining them in after the boss of Oerba.
Wait. Let me get this straight. They finally start getting special moves, but it's this late in the game?
Yes.
Yep. And they have just one per character, and it's related to a specific role. As if Lightning has only one special move related to their to a Ravager, I think.
Okay. Okay, you know what? I rest my...
This game is quite possibly the worst gameplay pacing I've ever seen.
Okay, you know what? I rest my case. The game would have been so much better if we started at the point where the Super Pope is revealed to be a FFVII. Not only would it actually make for better story pacing and actually a better reconstructing of the store lore, but also apparently gameplay-wise it would have been better paced too.
Oh,
I mean,
cutscene.
Wow.
Cutscene, let's just see Vidaka going blah again.
So we're gonna cut off another bit of him.
Yeah, pretty
no, that's for later when we reach the top of the tower.
What the fuck are you doing?
Even Saz has fallen to the 13th syndrome. Sad, really.
Meh. Honestly, I'd hear the characters seem their best to me. Not too much talking, they're actually moving ahead with something.
Either that or he's just playing, or either that or he just thought to himself, well, if you can't beat him, I guess I'll join him.
Like I say, honestly, I don't feel nothing too bad has really happened to Saz's character here.
You want to help us?
Eh? Well, haven't they already been doing that, sort of?
Okay. You will go to the Dagobah system.
What's he pointing to?
Basically, we have to get the other guy out of our way.
Let's just count our blessings.
Basically, he's pointing where we need to go.
Aha.
Again, you know what's funny, Pedro? Contrary to the rest of the game, which is still going, it's still the same, well, the hunting mission is a kind of different thing, but, yeah, it's still going on a hallway and shit. But at least since it's a tower, I know I'm making progression because I'm making floor after floor.
Yeah.
So from Pedro, from all I've learned so far, I think I see this game's real main problem. It takes forever for things to actually get fun or good.
And
even when they do get good, apparently it's not that good.
Yeah, I agree. It takes like 30 hours for the gameplay to actually open up. It takes like 30 hours for the story to actually appear. Because for the first 30 hours of this game, there is no story. It's just the characters whining.
It's funny
because there's no story for the first 3 hours. There's nothing going on.
And apparently, every time I think of something that could have made this gameplay better, you then tell me, "Oh, it actually appears later in the game." It's like, okay, seriously, what the heck?
You're gonna get left behind.
I mean, what sort of game?
He's running away without us.
Can't blame him.
Who's running away? Sorry.
Saz.
Oh, okay.
He said that you're gonna get left behind.
It's a shame the AI can't go ahead and take care of some of these missions for you.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, how is this tower still running even, anyway?
Power of not convenience.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the power of the FFVII, but then again, FFVII might as well be a synonym to plot convenience.
I don't know. It's probably explained in the data log, but the Haka is the only FFVII who is actually not beneficial to the ecosystem. It's explained that basically he is a parasite-like.
So let me get this straight. All of a sudden now there's
all the thieves we have fought in this tower, they're under his control and he uses them basically to rule the place.
Huh, so all of a sudden now there's a FFVII that isn't supposed to benefit the ecosystem.
Yeah, too bad it doesn't have personality, so we don't feel bad about killing it.
I don't even... Wait,
Yeah,
maybe that's the thing. Maybe FFVII that can actually move are the ones that are not beneficial. Oh wait, never mind.
Alright, now going to the 6th tier. And now thanks to the thing that I've done, I can actually go above the 6th tier. Yeah, I don't really like this this dungeon because it's just a lot of backtracking. And yes, I know it's a JRPG, but this particular game isn't really fun enough to make backtracking tolerable.
Oh, and it gets even funnier because in a later side quest you have to activate even more parts of the tower in order to unlock the complete scale of the elevator, so you can fight a specific hunting mission boss.
Yeah, when it comes to the platinum of this game, which I do have, I cheated and I got save files off the internet because, quite honestly, I could not be bothered.
No, I don't blame you. Honestly, I didn't got the platinum myself because fuck that. I'm not gonna take every single weapon and object in the entire game.
Honestly, the side quests don't even seem plentiful enough for them to really matter.
They're fine on their own.
The side quests amount to nothing else than kill more monsters to get specific items. That's all it is.
Are any of them story-driven at least?
One of them, like Theo just said, one of them gives that thing that, like Theo just said.
Yeah,
but aside from that, nothing. No extra
no.
lore, no extra dialogue.
Trust me, Tova.
Involving the massive Titan we have seen in the Archetypal Step, but that's just about it.
Trust me, Jova. A Tales game, this is not.
Yep.
Because believe it or not, Jova, the Tales series does a really fantastic job in making the side quest. Like seriously, when it comes to playing a Tales game, it's actually pretty recommended that you go for all the side quests because the side quests add so much to the characters and the world and the mythology and shit.
Ah, so like Okami.
Like a what? Sorry.
Okami.
Yeah, Okami. Yeah.
Sorta, I guess. Anyway,
everybody, see
you for part 30.
See ya.
29, sorry.